Hello and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We are your hosts.
My name's Phoebe.
And I'm Caroline. And I really mean it when I say welcome back because, yes, we did skip a week. Well, we didn't actually. Do you guys remember when you had to wait an entire 7 days?
Wow.
We used to make you wait 7 entire days for an episode. And this time, or usually now, you get 2 weeks. So it probably felt like ages since you heard our voices yapping in your ears. And hopefully if you weren't a Tuesday listener, you became one because you missed us so much.
I bet.
But regardless,
I bet that's exactly what happened.
I bet that's exactly what happened. Today, we are recapping the season 6 premiere episode called
Game On, Charles.
Makes me feel like that.
More like Game On, Smart Andrew.
More like Game On, Smart Andrew. Game On, Smart Andrew. Just practicing different ways of saying it, doing some vocal warm-ups.
This was a fire episode.
This was a crazy.
And I did forget, because I think last week's episode, I was speaking about how I wish it felt a little much to me that they were figuring out how to get out of the dollhouse so fast, so quickly.
Uh-huh.
And I stand by that for last episode. But this episode,
I was like, get out of there.
We get like a 3 weeks later.
I was
and
like,
it's like, okay, they've been there for a long time.
I
and
was like, get out of there. That's how I felt. I was like, girls, get out of there.
And how convenient that at the exact time they are pushing on the door, their counterparts are pulling on the door.
What are the odds? That's called.
It's almost like there was a script.
It's what I call serendipity. It's really what it is.
I
know you're
scripted.
right. It almost seemed scripted. I know it wasn't, but it almost
well,
did.
This is reality TV.
Seemed scripted. And this is why we love reality TV, because it makes us feel like, was that scripted? That was perfect.
And I just think it's weird that this isn't on Peacock.
You know, me too. Me too. When did Pretty Little Liars switch from Bravo to Freeform?
It was the first teenage reality show.
That is not true. It was the first teenage Real Housewives.
Yes.
I don't know why they were called housewives. None of them were married, but alas, that is what they were called. Well, you guys, this episode was crazy. I do have a quick question for you. How much time in the real world passed between these episodes? Because these girls look like they've aged 5 years.
Well, I was trying to
figure... so does Caleb Rivers.
I was trying to figure that out when we were outside and it starts to thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And the ground, like, it's mud.
Yes.
They're sitting in mud. And then we wake up and everything's completely dry. So I'm like, how many days have passed?
Well, no,
and then
I
it's
mean
like
in real
nighttime,
life.
and then it's like
daytime. Like for Lucy Hale and Ashley Benson and them. Like, they look very much older.
Like a year, I guess.
Just a year? It's crazy. They all, first of all have haircuts.
This wasn't any different than what a normal season would have been in terms of like waiting.
Really? That feels insane to me. They look so different.
I think part of the issue is that a lot of the time when the season starts, it's not supposed to be like next day. Like oftentimes it's like the school year starting.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them for the whole summer, so it makes sense that Lucy Hale cut 6 inches off of her hair.
It's not even that. It's like Lucy Hale, I can tell at this point, has had some facial work done. Hannah's eyebrows are way darker. Like there are things. Caleb has had filler put in his face. So those are the things that I'm like, how much time had she felt the need to do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that seems like something you do when you feel like you're looking older. And I get that if you're trying to look like you're teenagers forever, there would be pressure.
That's
but
tough.
I don't know. I just felt like I could tell that they were older. And they look more like they look today.
Yeah.
To me. Anyway, I'm going to be doing the recap. And for once in my life, I'm completely unprepared for it. I mean, I watched the recap and I've seen the show, but I'm just going to go off the cuff.
So Caroline's going to start at season 1,
so
episode
season 1,
1.
episode 1. Don't trust this is playing. Just kidding, guys. Okay, so here's really the important stuff. Do you guys remember we're in the dollhouse? We are not in Kansas anymore, y'all. We are in the dollhouse. I can't tell you where it is. I don't have the coordinates.
This voice is so Big Brother audition coded.
Stop making fun of me. I'm fragile today.
No, but that was so funny.
But you weren't laughing.
Well, I wasn't laughing because you're doing your recap, but I did immediately think like that could be the voice that you do for your Big Brother recap. Because it's not too much, like Quinn, but you still had the right inflection that Big Brother would pick up on it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll have to listen back and re-listen and train myself to only speak like that from now on.
Well,
you're welcome, listeners. Phoebe called it out. Phoebe practically begged for it, so I'll do it. Anyway, we're in the dollhouse, and Charles is running the show. Somehow Spencer did some puzzles in her head, figured that out. We think he's a De Laurentiis. We have all the girls in here except Allison, who was in jail for the murder of Mona, but she has since been absolved. So she is no longer liable for this. But all the girls were taken like on the way to maximum security prison, which is crazy. They have got to figure something out with the prison system. That is not safe. That they just got taken off the side of the road. That would
and
I want to say it would never happen, but I can't. And it's a real reality show.
And once again, this is a perfect opportunity to bring up that this is based on a true story.
Absolutely. I know. Oh my God. When I remember that, I'm like, sheesh. I am like, sheesh. For real.
Especially this episode.
So anyway, back to the recap. I don't have notes. So Phoebe's like, let's just try to like throw curveballs. Let me distract her. Crazy. Just kidding. I love when you talk. What was I saying?
The girls got taken.
Yes. I thought they were going to be shot execution style. I was wrong. They got taken. They wake up.
Admit it.
They wake up. Home sweet home, you guys. Looks exactly like their rooms, but wait, what? Why are the picture frames empty? And that's not my handwriting on the calendar, Spencer said. So they're like, what's going on here? And then we find out Mona Vanderwaal's here. And when they're like, Mona, you're alive. And Caroline's jumping for joy and also simultaneously punching Phoebe in the face because she gaslit her for so long. And all of you too. While I'm doing that, Mona is like, don't ever call me that again. I loathe that bitch.
Don't call me that again.
Don't call me that again. That bitch is dead to me, which is what she says this episode. She's still alive in this one too. And it wasn't a fluke even, but she is going to go by Allison. We find out she has been watched here for a while and they're trying to escape, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's looking for them. Everyone. Even the boyfriends who aren't boyfriends at this time. They're all looking. Ezra, I'm talking to you, Toby.
Well, Toby is kind of.
Not really. Spencer totally gave him the.
No, Spencer totally cheated on him, but they are still dating.
Right. Sorry. I guess it was when I saw Spencer locking lips with another man.
Not just one, but two.
I forgot she has a boyfriend.
Not just one, but two.
Not just one, but two. One with a British accent. It's like, get real.
And one with rocks for money.
You are, yeah. Spencer, you are so predictable. A British accent comes within 50 feet of you and your panties are off. Like, you've got to stop. So anyway, we're all just here now. I think that's it.
I think you nailed it.
And there's a girl named Sara Harvey.
Well, that's not in the recap.
Well, I know, but it's important to remember for this. The recap was so long, and then I was like, wait, I gotta be writing this down. And then I was like, well, Phoebe's got on a schedule, so I'm not gonna rewind, and I'm just gonna wing it. And I think it was worth it.
I think you did well. Do you see this mark here on my arm from when I burned myself? Don't even know how, but I'm kind of matching with Taylor Swift right now.
Does she have a burn on her wrist?
She has a burn on her forearm right now. It's quite large.
Why do you know that? I hate that you know that.
I hate that I know that too, but it's because
and you know
of
who
Twitter.
Else hates that you know that?
Taylor Swift and Tree Pain.
No, everyone listening to this.
Hey guys, grow up.
If you guys are still on about that, about us talking about Taylor Swift, what else are we supposed to talk about?
It's just that like Demois posts every pap walk that she does,
and I'm seated for it. I'm interested.
And I see the tweets that are like, oh my God, she has to be more careful. And I'm like, guys, it's called life.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, guys, it's called life.
It's called, don't worry, we're going to get a song about it. The burn.
Someone did. And this was so funny. A non-Swiftie.
My hair to meet your mom.
A non-Swiftie. A non-Swiftie quote tweeted the picture of someone saying, oh my God, that burn on her arm with the Demois shots, and like tried to write a song about it and was like,
like I just did?
Yes, but so much worse because it was about baking cookies with Travis. And someone, again, a non-Swiftie quote tweeted it and said, let's leave the songwriting to Taylor.
A non-Swiftie that's so funny because it's like, thank you for admitting she's a great songwriter.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So we
finally
open up the dollhouse and the girl, we like have to watch the entire fucking thing happen again.
Yes.
And it's like, I just watched this.
That was traumatic. Yeah, well, our listeners are like, you didn't just watch it. You watched it 2 weeks ago. You skipped a week, lazy. Just kidding. But there is this blonde girl who Phoebe and I saw Heretic last night. I still think I'm saying it wrong every time I say
Heretic.
it. Okay, Heretic. We saw it last night, and
we'll talk about it on Tuesday. It was great.
Yeah, there's some women in it. So I was like, oh my God, there's that blonde girl. It looks like the girl in Heretic. And Phoebe was like, okay, the girl in hair tech was way prettier. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that.
That's
But I did. And then I was like, Phoebe, what, the Prophet? So guys, now go Google
no,
the Prophet and heretic.
No, that's not what happened.
No, that is what happened. I said the Prophet.
I thought you were saying like I said no, she looks like the Prophet,
No,
and I didn't want to
said
get raked
that.
over the coals for saying that
Oh, well, I'm happy to say
a
it.
perfectly normal looking girl looks like the
Phoebe,
Prophet.
give me a break. She's not perfectly normal. She's dressed like Alison DeLaurentis.
She does not look like the Prophet.
She looks like she's been through. She's been through.
She's been through.
She looks like she's been through.
I've had scandal.
She's had scandal. She's been through. And that's clear.
And that
And she
is
doesn't
the-
want to do the most interesting thing about her.
I'm glad you mentioned Sara Harvey because I wrote in my notes this bitch and nothing else. So I'm super. I was talking about Sara Harvey when you said
I wrote blonde girl tallying. It appears she's been tallying how many days she's been in here.
for a long fucking time.
And the other girls just don't know or don't care that there is another girl in here.
Don't
And they
know.
actually never care.
They don't-
That's the best part. Even when they find out.
they
They don't
leave.
even give her a look. She's being carried out on a stretcher past them, and they're just like,
No, but even when they
"Anyway, I'm
realize there's
horny."
another girl in there,
What I know,
because
they're
when
like,
they're on their way out,
they're
don't
like,
they?
I don't know.
When they're on their way out, don't they say, "Oh, there's another girl," or is that the police
It's
officer?
the police, yeah, because they like go in.
So she's been here for freaking ever, and then we see the end scene from last time, and Charles locks them out of the dollhouse.
Yes, he starts playing some jazz music while all the girls are in
Don't
the
fence me
gated
in.
area.
Is
Yeah,
the name of the song.
don't fence me in. Arya says, "I am not going back down there," and I'm like, okay, all right, well, okay,
Okay, then I guess we're staying up here.
I guess we're staying up here.
And
And you
Hannah-
are not going down there.
Hannah locks eyes with the camera, and she says, "You may be a dude, but you're still a bitch."
Work. and I just want to say, in the year 2024, bitch is not a gender term.
No, and Hannah would be happy to know that.
And Hannah would be thrilled. And you know what? We do see some growth from the girls in this episode.
Totally.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Later on when they're like, we shouldn't have said that.
Oh
I was
yes.
like, okay,
Wait, I
writer's
actually thought
room.
that the iconic. This was an iconic line from Spencer when she says, "We made fun of everybody we'd ever met that day." That's so fun. Okay, ideal day.
Me every
Okay,
time
ideal day.
you record the podcast.
Me when I go to the saloon of Mount Lebanon, PA.
Well, you better not do that anymore, because there might be someone who knows you there.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Oh my god, best night of my life. You were gonna forget it in 3 weeks, and I'm never gonna forget
Me?
it.
Oh, I'm not gonna
No,
forget
the
it.
girl that met me.
She might forget you.
But I'm never
Sorry.
gonna forget.
You're
I'm
never
gonna tell my
forget her.
grandkids. And one time I was recognized at the saloon of Mount Lebanon.
And that is my dream, minus the saloon part, minus having to be there for it. Okay. Whoa, what was that? Okay, so anyway, Spencer is. Wait.
This is so funny.
Who wrote this episode?
They're talking
They
about.
are talking crazy.
They're talking about how Spencer encountered Charles, was almost face to face, and they're like, "Was anything familiar? Did he smell familiar?" And who said
Arya.
Arya says she's not Jenna.
Oh my God. Okay. And maybe we don't need to bring Jenna up right
This
now.
is how we know that in Arya's mind, if we needed more proof, it is me. Always, because she's
Exactly.
thinking about Shauna and thus adjacent Jenna all the time.
Yes. And Spencer's like, I don't know. He feels like a
pen
memory,
pal.
maybe.
A cousin.
Yeah, she's like, I know him, but I don't. Anyway, they have no clue where they are, and they're trying to figure out where they could be. And Hannah goes, we could be in a freaking Amazon. And Spencer goes, we're in the northern hemisphere. There's the waning moon or whatever. Hannah goes, I was being facetious. And Spencer, you better shut the fuck.
I think it was Mona that said it.
Really?
I think Mona said it.
I
because
rewound because I was like, did
I
Emily
remember
say that?
being like, oh my God, wait, how do you know that that's 11 words off the top of your
Thought
head?
the same thing. Would
And
have to
that's
be one
a
of
Mona
them. It
thing.
would have. Well, that's why I rewound because I was like, no way, that was Emily.
It can't be Spencer.
Why?
I mean, Spencer's so smart, but
Spencer would know that.
she's not smart the way Mona
But
is.
also
Mona has such an algorithmic brain in a way that Spencer doesn't.
But-
Spencer is too all over the place.
But you know what? Spencer talks to Hannah like that. Mona doesn't really.
But she
Mona,
may have.
I don't think so. We
'Cause
do
I-
not see Mona like undermining Hannah or making fun of her a lot, which I think is why Hannah has such a hard time letting go of that friendship, because like Mona always
Respected
wanted to
her.
be friends with Hannah. So she wasn't always making fun of her. She was like building her up. Whereas Spencer and Arya they're always like, that's not a word.
Yeah,
so
it
I
coulda-
feel like it was her.
It might have been. Then a thunderstorm starts, and Hannah's like, "Are they gonna let us fry out here?"
And I'm like, girl,
Yes.
he doesn't care.
Girl,
Like, he doesn't
actually,
care
yeah.
what happens to you as long as it's bad and horrible.
So now you've embarrassed him, which
So
is why
it's-
they get punished.
It's now morning. The girls slept in a perfect circle. And now it's nighttime again. And they're like, how long can I live without food, without In-N-Out? And Mona's like, 3 weeks. So she's tested that in the dollhouse, it seems. She's gone 3 weeks without food.
Or she just knows the fact.
I know, but the way they look at her made me think they're like, oh my God.
And then Spencer's like,
learned
yeah, and
that.
it's even worse without water.
Yeah. And then we get the most insane 3 lines
And
I've
I
ever
think
heard.
we can just skip over it.
And so Aria says, I'm so thirsty, I would consider drinking my own pee. Followed by Hannah saying, I would suck on a pee flavored ice cube. Yeah. And then Emily takes it home with, I'd lick pee off a jock
Sweat.
strap.
I'll give her credit.
Okay. I don't know if that's better.
I don't know what. Sweat's better.
Well, it depends. Is it sweat that was made in the jock strap, or was it then applied to the
then
jock
it's like,
strap?
it's just
Because if
the
it's a
same
clean,
thing. 'Cause then it's just the
exactly.
same
If it's a
thing.
clean jock strap with a little bit of sweat on it, that's different than a sweaty, soiled. Rosetta Stone. I loved learning Spanish in high school and college, but one thing I struggled with was quickly translating my English thoughts to Spanish words. And don't even get me started on the accent. But lo and behold, Rosetta Stone came along and changed everything for me. There's a reason it's the most trusted language learning program. I mean, it truly immerses you in the language you want to learn. And you've heard us talk about it in previous episodes, but Rosetta Stone really helps me to not only speak in Spanish, but also think in Spanish. There are no English translations, and it's a really intuitive process designed to help you pick it up fast without sacrificing long-term retention. It even has a speech recognition tool that's like a personal trainer for your accent. Rosetta Stone has been a trusted expert for 30 years, with millions of users and 25 languages offered. It's super convenient and flexible. There's a desktop version and a really awesome app. And honestly, it's just an amazing value. You get a lifetime membership to all of the languages they offer. So don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. The Pretty Little Podcast listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/today. That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/today today. Phoebe, is there anything worse than the week before your period? The sleeplessness, breakouts, the cravings, and the blah, blah, blah. PMS is the worst. Luckily, now it's easier to manage with Estro Control.
Estro Control is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, and the way it eases PMS is pretty interesting. The ingredients help support the liver, which is where our hormones get processed, especially estrogen. When that estrogen isn't processed well in the liver, women may start having PMS, blemishes, cravings, you know the drill.
Estro Control was created to help women feel like themselves all throughout the month. PMS isn't robbing me of a week of my life every month anymore. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code PrettyLittlePodcast at checkout.
Again, that's happymammoth.com and use the code PrettyLittlePodcast for 15% off today.
Jockstrap.
Regardless,
The word soiled is crazy.
This is what's up. Mona's like, you'll know that you're dying when you're not hungry or thirsty because your organs are starting to shut down. And Aria, of course, goes, well, mine are working.
Then I'm definitely alive.
And
I'm wide freaking awake.
That's when she decides to go on her freaking urine rant.
And she's also like, I don't know how much longer I can take this. I don't know if I can handle this. And Mona says, you can handle it, Aria. We all can. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Tell her, because we don't need any like Debbie Downers weak bitches here.
Right, which is Aria's whole vibe. Then the doors open in the next morning.
They do. And we get the hello message over the speaker, and they're being ordered to go back down, and they can't really decide if it's worse to stay up here or go down there. But
Girls,
Mona's like,
I'm
just
sorry.
stick together.
The answer is go back down.
Really, you think? I feel like the answer is stay up here.
No, because you know you're going to get fed if you go down there.
I don't know if you know that.
I think you do. If you make it it's like fawn. If you know that if you can try to go back on what you did and you're gonna obey and you go back down there, eventually it might be bad at first, but eventually you will at least get food. I believe. Because they were fed when they got there.
Maybe,
and
but it's just
Mona,
like, if we're up here, I know
Mona has
I
had
know
enough-
what's out here.
Mona's had enough time, but there's no chance in getting help up there.
I don't know. Is there no chance they're in the middle of the woods?
I also think I'm just going up to what Mona says, because Mona's been there the longest. She's been punished before. So like she knows if she wants to go back down, it's like, well, then I do believe you're probably going to get fed again.
The girls
but
go
it
back
is
in,
bad.
and the lights turn off, and Charles shows up behind them with like a gas mask for Mona and like a smoke bomb or something, and gasses the girls. And I just want to say, Mona didn't even try to run.
No.
She like practically was like, yeah. Like I just thought it was.
Stop. But like putting the gas mask on.
Yeah. So anyway, they wake up, and all I have here on this bullet point is Jesus Christ.
They're on like these metal tables in a morgue, essentially, with like these sheets over them, and they're naked. And
I could not believe. I kept expecting them. Well, especially because Emily, when they wake up, whatever, they realize where they are. Emily lifts up the sheet to like look at her body, and I'm like, okay, she's checking to see if she's clothes, and then she's so relieved, and I was like, okay, thank God her clothes are on. But then that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, wait, but aren't any of you concerned about the fact that you're naked? No one said a word about the fact they had no clothes on, which I thought was just interesting that they weren't like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just, knowing what channel this was on, I thought that was a crazy detail.
Emily wanted to make sure that their organs weren't being harvested, and Hannah's like, we're still alive. And Emily's like, well, we only need one kidney. And then I think Spencer, the one that says, I think A wanted to make it look like we were dead and like send a message to our family.
Like, that's like a huge, I mean, I that might be true,
but it is a bit of a jump.
I would never just like,
and I don't
think
necessarily think that this is how A would orient your bodies to send that message, because it makes it look like you are in some kind of morgue.
Yeah.
Like a real morgue. Then
right.
They would.
It's also funny because I feel like the A that we know doesn't want the game to be over. And if everybody thinks the girls are dead, it's a little bit more over. Like, I think he likes that he's being chased.
I agree.
So it's like, I don't even know if he would want to do that.
And then Mona as Allie comes in with a Candy Striper's outfit, and she's got aspirin for the girls. And they determine that all 5 of them are scared, if you can even believe it.
If you can believe that. Mona has another one of those iconic lines where Hannah's like, Mona, she's like, I told you not to ever call me that again. That bitch is dead to me. And it's just like the way she just serves.
And it kind of
makes
me sad, because I am like, partially I feel like Mona has such low self-esteem that part of her might
believe it.
Believe like what she's saying about herself sometimes.
The girls also aren't fully trusting Mona, which does make sense to me. And I think if I saw Mona not fully running away from that gas mask, I'd be like
running frankly right into A's arms.
Into it. And then also like the 4 of us wake up here and you're perfectly fine. You've just been in your room the whole time. Like, I think I would be raising my eyebrows. But
then Mona starts to defy, because we get a message that says, well, they were only out for a couple hours, but we get a message that is like, everybody go back to your rooms for your surprises. And Mona says no.
Twice. I was like, Mona, this is not go along with you just now pretending to be Allie.
Yeah. And then 3 chimes go, and I guess that means go to your room or else. And I'm like, isn't it go to your room or else regardless
every
of how
single
many
time?
chimes
I know. I thought it was so funny that she's like, they're like, go to your room, and she's like, no. And then again, he's like, go to your room, and she's like, no. And then it beeps 3 times, and Mona goes, that means I need to go to my room. I was like, yeah, like, do you not speak English anymore? Like, I know. We all know.
She looks at the girls and she goes, if you don't go, it steals you in the night and puts you in the hole.
This isn't The Quiet Place.
This isn't Silence of the Lambs. We already used that as a title of app.
But I'm sorry, it.
But also,
we
especially the well scene is so. If you what's the quote from Silence of the Lambs when he like puts the basket down in the well?
I don't know. I've never seen Silence of the Lambs. Yeah.
Oh my God, we gotta watch it.
Okay, maybe.
It was filmed in Pittsburgh. Some of it.
Great. In my house.
No, Soldiers and Sailors.
I can't believe it was filmed in my house, and no one disclosed that.
And it's a documentary.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so they all go into their rooms, and when they shut the door, when they shut the door, they all gasp, and then we start hearing them all say, they all say, no, please, no, don't, please.
I mean, it's like, and Phoebe's doing that scream because we're recording a podcast and we have microphones, and she can't do what I'm doing. She doesn't want to do what I'm doing. But the screaming is like, I was like, what?
And I'm like,
I thought they saw their families being fucking tortured
and
in there. That's the level of screaming we're hearing.
Like, how much could be being done simultaneously here.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Well, that's why I was like, are they just showing them something
Yeah, I was
really
wondering that.
disturbing? We don't find out.
So
We just fast forward to 3 weeks
3
later.
weeks later, we're outside the De Laurentiis house and we have a press conference going on. Allie's been let out of jail, of course. Caleb and Ezra are here. And we find out that Andrew Campbell is missing and also the top suspect in the disappearance of the girls and Mona's murder.
And so here's what I want to say. Clocked it. I was like, something's up with you. You're obsessed. You want to be in the clique so bad.
Be in the clique so
I
bad.
have been saying that about
bad
Smart
enough
Andrew.
to build an entire dollhouse.
I have literally been saying about Smart Andrew the whole time. All I know about you is that you're smart and that you want to be in the clique. Like that's, you want to be included.
Right.
And if you're not, something bad's going to happen.
And here we are. Allie's reading her statement and it's basically just like everything you'd expect to hear. Ken's here. She has a new haircut.
Can you believe how much she looks like Justy?
I know the haircut is not a good length for her to look young.
No, but the haircut, the hair color, and the way they did her makeup with her outfit as well. She looks like
an English teacher.
But she literally looks like Justy, the actress, is what I'm saying. Do you think that too? Is what I'm asking.
I didn't necessarily clock it, but I see it. I just didn't think it necessarily.
I thought
initially.
it was like jarring.
But
anyway,
I think that like, I hate when they put her in those like sheer...
the
like
polyester
the kind
shell
of things
tops
that they have to like teachers wear, like female teachers wear, because business casual for women is not.
Mm-hmm.
You can't walk into a store and be like, let me get business casual for a woman and not want to kill yourself.
Well, tell that to Hannah Marin.
You know, but still, you know what I mean? Like that material, and she's got like a cardigan over it. It's way too long to be.
So it's
flattering.
a polyester shell top.
Is that polyester?
Yes.
And that's why I hate it.
Well, I learned that when I worked at Stitch Fix, which I also wrote down here, that she looks like she's in a Stitch Fix outfit.
But for our mom.
Not for our mom.
You know, but I mean like
for a mom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean she's dressing way too old, but that's
demo.
like such a Stitch Fix type look.
She's basically, what we find out is she's making a trap, because she's like, if you do anything to my friends, just like, please don't, they're my rocks. And then she says, and also, no more police. Get the police fucking out of here.
She directly calls Andrew out as well, which I thought was interesting. And so we go in the house. We have Ken and Allie sharing a moment and hugging, and then and all the police are behind them, including Lieutenant Butterscotch, and they are setting up Andrew. So they're just using Allie as bait. So we have that blonde girl in the Allie outfit, Sara Harvey, but they don't know that yet.
And it's like, is it a wig? Is it her hair just grown out and bleached?
My question too, and how many of this outfit do we have? I also thought a really nice touch in this episode was that all the girls are like, yes, dressed the way they would be dressed, but it's all ill-fitting. So like Spencer's wearing a polo that's way too small. The buttons are so up high, and then her pants are too loose. And it's like Spencer always has perfectly tailored clothing, which I didn't notice as much until I'm seeing her in this.
And
I'm
also lends itself to when they talk about it later, when they all get their like souvenirs from their home.
Yeah.
That A has been planning this for way longer than we can. Like these could be clothes that like
they've had for years.
Either have had for years, or even like A's watched them like donate to Goodwill and like gotten their old clothes.
Thinking about all the clothes that Hannah like donated to the church drive. Jesus Christ.
A's been working on this for a long time.
Crazy. This is a level of planning and admin I'm just not simply capable of.
So if you guys were worried that we were going to do a dollhouse,
don't worry. I know I tried to be A for a little bit in high school, but I am not going to go this far. I'm really not.
Literally
not. So Sara Harvey brings the girls food, and they are like, are you Mona? Are you Mona? And she like covers her ears and runs away. Are you scared of the name Mona? What's that about? So we're back at the De Laurentiis dungeon, and Allie sees a shadow. This is crazy. Allie sees a shadow, freaks out. Everyone pulls out their guns. Jason De Laurentiis walks in the room and has the most hilarious fake reaction to Toby with a gun I've ever seen. He's like, what? Like, and
he's like, guys.
He's like, Toby, the gun, really? And Toby's like, dude, I'm a cop.
He's like, guys, I came through the garage. And it's like, okay, you guys didn't plan for that? There's not someone at the garage.
You don't have a ring camera?
What is going on?
You don't have to find my friends. You know where Jason was?
You guys think you're so smart setting up this sting operation.
They are not so smart, I'll tell you that.
But the garage was not even manned.
Crazy. So Allie gets a call from a blocked ID. They're all sure it's going to be A. She answers it, and it's just playing a song. And so the song plays for a while, and the police are tracing the call, and they end up finding out that the call is coming from inside the house.
Which, by the way, in 7th grade, we had to write fractured fairy tales. Or no.
Ooh.
That was 6th grade. Terrifying tales in 7th grade. And so you had to write like a horror.
Oh, I remember
thing.
this. I think we've talked about this.
And
maybe.
mine was kind of based on Scream, but it was like a babysitter in our beach house. Like that was the
Jesus.
setting that I did because the floor plan was small enough
That'd
to
be
make
really
it like,
hard to
it was
hide.
actually like, guys, like a really dark story.
Phoebe's like, I'm actually scared
I
talking about it. I'm
should
scared.
find it. I think one of the kids died.
Do you want to know what mine was about?
It's gonna be so much worse.
Why do you think that? You just said yours was actually scary and really dark, and then you looked at me with fear in your eyes and soul and said it's going to be so much worse. That's
What was
crazy.
it?
Well, it was called Fiskars.
It was a hostel, wasn't it?
Yes. We have talked about this. I wrote about a girl who was, for some reason, at a youth hostel, and she went in her room and she shut the door, and hanging.
Oh, right, scissors.
Yeah, hanging on the coat, like the coat thing over the door, was her roommate hanging like from it with scissors in her back, a pair of Fiskars, and there's just like a killer in the hostel. And I called it Fiskars.
But mom helped me come up with my
What the fuck?
with mine.
Okay,
And-
wait, mom wrote mine too.
Wait,
Mom.
Mrs. Caldwell, do not call the plagiarism
Mom.
police.
I'm just kidding. Mom did not write mine.
No, mom helped me. She came up with the idea because I had never seen Scream before, and she helped me come up with the idea of like favorite movie.
Hey, mom, don't plagiarize for Phoebe. Okay? Don't do that again.
But you guys know I famously love the Scream films.
I thought you were going to say, you guys know I famously love plagiarizing.
Who's to say?
It's like, isn't that my thing?
Who's
Just
to
kidding,
say?
I'm kidding.
It is your whole thing. We go back to the De Laurentiis' house.
Wait, this was
No,
interesting
where
too.
the fuck are
Okay.
we? Are we done?
I got it. I got it. Shh. I'll tell you. I love when Phoebe's like, I don't know where we are. And so she talks the whole time to stall. And it's like, but I know where we are. So you don't have to keep doing that. I'll just pick it up. So they're like, Allie, the person's in the house. They put her in like the pantry and they don't even check to see if anyone's in it. I'm like,
Which,
oh,
by
I
the
know
way,
he's going to be in there.
Guys, this is my dream. And this is also our mom's dream.
Being locked in the
No,
pantry.
no. This room. It's a pantry, but it's also a gift wrapping station and a wine cellar.
Yeah, that is insane.
Because you see, it's not even just like gift wrapping is like in a drawer.
It's like
You have those things where you can
year
like
round, the
like,
wrapping paper
tear
on the wall.
you can tear it off the little like metal thing. Awesome.
Wow. So
Wow.
Allie's in there and they have a police officer guarding the door while they check for the whole house. They get into Allie's room and there's a mannequin sitting in the rocking chair. They
Toby's
think it's A.
literally Toby's
ready to
at the
shoot.
Hands up.
Toby's like, I'm gonna shoot to kill. I'm gonna do it. And they go over and it's got a pig mask.
Oh my god.
on
I am
it.
like, wow.
I was like, okay, commentary as
And
fuck.
it gets crazier.
Yes.
Because then the phone on this mannequin starts, and I thought that he was gonna pull the pig mask away and there'd be an Allie mask, but that's not what it was.
Wait, no, it was. Oh,
No,
I
it
thought.
wasn't.
Okay, at first I thought it was an Allie mask on a dead body, but then I realized it was just a mannequin.
Just a mannequin. And then the phone starts to ring in the pocket of the hoodie that's on the mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
And Toby pulls it out, answers it, and it's just pigs squealing and squealing and squealing.
And then behind LB, the other police officer who's supposed to be guarding Allie. I'm sorry, you're fired. You're actually so fired. LB goes, I literally just told you not to leave under any circumstances.
I think she does say, what are you doing
Yeah,
up
she goes,
here?
you were supposed to be downstairs. And the cop's like, well, I wanted it on the action. Fuck you.
And then they go
Guess what?
downstairs.
Guess who's gone? I'm like, okay, that's your last day on the job, bitch.
And also, I do think it's so funny when we find out that this was all a ploy to get Allie out of the house, was that Allie's like final way of making it seem like something sinister happened was taking one of the bottles of wine, dropping it, and just like leaving
Yes.
it. I'm like, did you think it looked like blood? What did you think this was going to signal to them?
She's like, and I've staged many a crime scene,
And you always need
don't doubt me. You always need
a
a bottle
shattered
of cab,
bottle of cab.
sap. Yeah. So she runs away, and I am like, Allie, why the hell are you running away? Like, I know, but I think this whole thing is stupid.
I agree, but it works.
It works somehow because it's scripted, but it's so dumb.
But I do think, like, I don't understand why the police couldn't have been in on it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why it had
Make
to be.
it seem like the police have their own thing. I mean, I guess the idea is that they wanted to latch on to the police, like the police were the decoy.
But it's just like so annoying. Well, Toby's like, I know the song. It's called "Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree." So they basically LB figures out that the
Toby
song
has to fully act, by the way. Toby like
Yeah.
has to put a
He
look
does,
on.
you're right.
He puts a look on his face so that Jason is then like, Toby, what's going on?
it is so funny.
And by the way,
And by the way, and guess what? So LB's like, okay, the song was a message about Andrew's apple farm, and we're gonna go there and blah blah. So Ezra and Caleb are in a car. outside.
Waiting.
And Allie comes and runs and gets in the car. We find out they staged the whole thing. So the cops are gonna
called
go.
the house. Guys, when they find out that you called the house, you're dead.
You're dead meat.
You're dead meat.
You are just dead. You are dead meat.
Guys, it's game over.
No, that was crazy to me. I'm like, they're like, oh, they believe the call. I was like, what? Guys, this is a little much. This is a little much. And now I'm like, okay, Toby, now I have the ick because I know you were just like performing. And that's gross.
And so Toby was always gonna know where they are, but they're going to the Kissing Rock right now. And Caleb hands Allie the ugliest shoes you've ever fucking seen.
No. You skipped something I have to point out.
Go for it.
Allie goes, oh, he'll be at the Kissing Rock. He won't pass up an opportunity to get his hands on me.
And
The guys are just like,
I'm like, all right, Allie, I know that you're like being the hero here, but at the end, you're revealing that at the end of the day, it all does come back to how this
he wants to fuck
obsessed
me.
with you.
He wants to fuck me.
And I get it. And
she's like, he either wants to kill me or fuck me or marry me.
or all
Kill,
three.
fuck, marry. Kill, fuck, marry. The Ali De Laurentiis game. That's like what she says.
She invented it.
And the guy's just like, okay. And then she sees the shoe. She's like, nice kicks. And they're like, they're for you. And actually, we have a tracker in the heel of these cowboy boots.
It's giving horse girl turned elementary school music teacher.
The boots.
Yes.
You're right. And it's also giving, we couldn't have found a better pair of shoes.
It's giving.
How about some walking shoes?
It's giving.
I'm walking in.
It's giving Caleb was rooting through the Goodwill at the Marin house.
Yes, it is. It's giving, Allie would never wear those.
And
All
that's
right.
for sure.
Sorry,
We find out there's a tracker in
because Allie
them,
only wears
though.
ballet flats now that she's dressing like a 60-year-old teacher who is at the end of her tenure and is about to retire.
There's a tracker in these shoes so that the guys can keep track of her.
So we get a new announcement at the dollhouse. The girls have to go.
Wait, Allie has a girl boss moment here when she gets the shoes. She says, give a girl a good pair of shoes and she can conquer the world.
And they're just like,
Okay.
They drive away. They're like, we don't want to fuck you anymore. Okay,
I know.
we're not. Like,
Ezra's like, hey, I found a new 16-year-old.
yeah, I'm not really into you anymore. I have another teen.
You were born in April. Aria was born in March. So like, she's just a little younger.
I just like younger girls. Okay, I just do. Actually, that would make her older.
Aria. Right.
Phoebe was also like, Caroline, stop trying to trick me.
We're at the dollhouse.
He's like, where's the doll? God.
A is telling the girls to go to Allie's room to prepare for arrival. And okay, these girls are a little bit stupid at first because they're like, wait, what? And it's like, okay, arrival at Allie's room.
Just go there.
I know they think Allie's in jail, but you guys were on your way to jail and you
that
ended
doesn't
up
mean
here.
anything.
A lot of Hannah, you know what was going on behind those four walls.
Yes, exactly. Also, as they're coming out of their rooms, this is a dark moment. They all come out of their rooms and it's like something has changed
within me.
Yeah, within me. Something is
not the same. And
today, one of my students, I was like,
they are through by playing by the rules of someone else's game.
just through accepting the list. My student today was like, or I was like, are you excited to see Wicked? And she said, yeah, I'm so excited. And I was like, yeah, next week. She goes, it's not next week. And I was like, yeah, it's next week. And she's like, no, it's on Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is not next week, Caroline. As if like I'm crazy. And I was like, girl,
no, but I understand.
I'm going Thursday.
I sympathize with her because the original release
we had the
date,
same conversation, and it doesn't get old for me.
the original,
I love it.
The original release date was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But to be
And
frank,
now
the
it's not.
original release date was my birthday last year.
Oh, I forgot that. They said, wait, Phoebe
Wait,
Connell's
wait,
birthday?
what?
No.
No, we gotta move it.
No, we cannot do that. We cannot do that. She will freak out if anything takes the spotlight from her. Phoebe loves her birthday. Anyway, the girls go into Allie's room. Well, all the girls come out. They're like in their old clothes. Hannah comes out last, and it seems like maybe she's been through something worse than the other girls.
Yeah, but I also can't tell because when the other girls are out without Hannah, they're also talking about they're like, I just can't find words to talk about what happened.
Crazy.
Spencer's
And
like, I
Aria's
don't
hair
wanna
is pink again.
But what's crazy is Aria's ready to talk about it.
Aria's like, well, I kind of don't have to talk about it. Notice anything different about me?
I actually got to go outside and go to the salon.
The girls all go into Allie's room. Emily's dressed like a coach, and they have just like
Sue Sylvester.
a box of the Democratic Sue Sylvester because she's in blue. All of Allie's stuff from her room at home. It's sort of like the boxes Maya had on the curb. They're all now here.
Hey guys, just boxes filled with stuff.
Boxes filled with Allie's stuff.
Which I am like, okay, wait, has Abe been going back that far to collect stuff?
Wouldn't that be insane? Maya comes out. She's working with A.
She's like,
Maya, Charles.
She goes, oh,
Emily. Wait, Emily, you know Alison DeLaurentis? Fuck. So
Charlie.
Chuck. These are calling Chuck. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
No, we're not doing that.
So we're in Allie's fake room, and they find a paper. Like there's a bunch of newspaper in here as well. So they're realizing that Allie has been released from prison. She's coming back. And then Hannah's like, wait, did you guys also sign the welcome card for Allie?
She says, did A force you to sign it? And
Which,
I'm like,
by the way, later
what does that mean?
I wrote all of their signatures down because I think that especially the salutations were interesting.
I didn't pay attention to them, but I did take a photo of
the diary entry.
Yeah.
So then they're also talking about there's newspaper articles about how Allie called for no more police, everything. So Emily's like, Allie is just a sitting duck, and if A brings Allie here, does that mean she won't need Mona anymore?
So we do find out what happened to Mona.
Silence of the Lambs.
Mona's in the hole. It came to get her and put her in the hole.
I'm going to Google that. It'll be easy to find. Keep talking.
So Charles comes to visit Mona. She's like apologizing, begging him not to leave her, but he does. So we know where she is. And this is when we get their apologies for the things that they used to do. So the girls are all like putting Allie's room together, and they're talking about how awful Allie was, but also how they were like complicit and compliant in this horrific treatment of others. So,
this is it. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. And it's like the killer, Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs, traps this person in a well like where Mona is, and will put down in this basket lotion so that the person in the well has to put lotion on their body. And if they don't, the person like hoses them down.
Oh my God.
It's a very disturbing movie, but it is beautifully shot.
Well, anyway,
Jodie Foster eats in that movie.
Good. I'm glad. So, anywho, Hannah goes, we let her call Lucas Hermie, which, yeah, guys, I don't think we included that when it first happened, but that is what Allie used to call Lucas. And then Emily goes, we let her blind Jenna. And then someone says, we are not the same people we were back then, but especially Allie.
That's what Emily says. The Allie part for sure is Emily. But Spencer, this is where Spencer says, we insulted everyone we ever met that day, which is so funny. And then Spencer's in this box and she picks up a boat that is like the initials CD are carved into the side of the boat. So we're realizing that this isn't just Allie's stuff.
No, this might be someone else's. And they're like, well, who CD? I mean, immediately I would think CC Drake, not Charles DeLaurentis.
Aria decides to get fucking... She loves when there's a moment for her to be important and make a scene. Because she goes, Spencer, can you come over to the closet? I think I need help with this tension rod.
Spencer, I mean, Aria, you could not be less like slick with this. Although at first I was really annoyed with her because I was like, she's being a bitch, I thought at first, because she's like, Spencer's like, can Hannah do it? Because Spencer's trying to figure something out.
No.
And Aria goes, she's busy.
I think that was actually maybe sweet.
That's what then I realized was to protect Hannah, because what Aria wants Spencer to see is that Mona has carved into the back of the wardrobe, he's going to kill me, M. And that's when I realized, Aria didn't want Hannah to have to be the one to see it.
Sweet.
Which is really sweet.
So we go to the police department and we're watching the news. Radley's closing. We're hearing about Andrew, all this stuff. Tanner comes into Barry and Toby, I believe, is also in there.
Can you believe LB said idea? Like plain as day said idea.
I didn't notice.
Instead of idea. She goes, if you have any idea where they are, and
which is when our dad has had like 3 beers, that's how he says idea, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
And so they say there's no Allie or Andrew at the Campbell farm. And then Barry sees that someone that looks like Andrew goes by one of the news reporters at the press conference. And then they try to get a partial plate out of the car that he gets into. And I'm like, okay, Andrew, stupid.
Stupid.
And they get a partial plate on a sedan.
It's so serial killer coded though, inserting yourself.
But I am like, okay, when I look at that press conference, there were about 15 people there.
But he did give Andrew vibe. Like he looked a lot like
No,
Andrew.
no, I agree. But I'm just thinking we should have made it like a real big, maybe like a vigil.
Yeah, true.
Because
true.
it was a small enough group that I think
maybe there's been
the
more.
police would have noticed Andrew.
Yeah.
Because he's tall. He's a big guy.
I bet because it's been 3 weeks, I bet they had the vigil and stuff like earlier.
Probably,
you know?
which is crazy.
That's my guess.
We missed it.
We missed the freaking vigil.
So we go to the woods / the kissing rock. Allie gets to the kissing rock, and then Patsy Cline starts to play.
When I was walking,
and it leads her to this car. I guess if I'm Allie, I'm like,
I'm not gonna get it.
I'm not.
If I'm Allie and I walk up to a car, they love to do this though. Every time they see a car, they're like, "Let's open all the doors and get in."
That's mine.
And I'm like, are you women or not?
It's like when I watched American Psycho for the first time on Friday.
Oh, really?
And it's the scene.
Did Anthony inspire you?
No, that's crazy. We realized we both watched American Psycho.
Yes.
I was like I watched 3 movies on Friday, just like movies that I needed to get off my Letterboxd watch list.
But
I mentioned I watched Notes on a Scandal, Killing of a Sacred Deer, and American Psycho.
Were they good?
Yeah, they were all pretty good. American Psycho I thought was great. I really enjoyed it. I've read a lot about it because I was a little bit confused about some stuff, but there's that scene where he's running through New York and opening like every car door. That's The Liars.
Yeah. No, literally that is The Liars. And I hate it about them. And so Allie immediately like gets in the car, no problem. And I would never fucking do that. And she turns the car on and it starts giving her directions. So she's following it.
Okay, that's weird and not normal. But I guess I am thinking
she has the tracker in her shoes. Yeah. I would keep thinking that too. And she does have her phone with her. Like I know it doesn't have service later, but she does have it.
And then we go back to Caleb and
Which
Ezra.
is where I'm like, I'm sending a text.
Yeah,
I'm texting the guys like, hey, just so you know, I'm getting in a car.
Yeah. And so Caleb and Ezra are following, and they're trying to like not follow too closely, but close enough.
Question: didn't you think it was weird though that they didn't get worried when they realized she was in a car?
I know, I would have thought
because
that was
I wouldn't have
strange,
thought
too.
she was driving.
I agree. I'm with you. I thought that was interesting. But Caleb goes, we have to find them. I promised Hannah's mom we would find them, and that's not a promise I'm gonna make.
Breaking that. So then we find out that all the girls actually got boxes with their old stuff, and this is when, as Phoebe was saying, it's stuff they thought they lost ages ago. So we realized Charles has been planning this for quite a long time.
And guys, this is how we know Ashley Marin is the mom of the year. And I'm not saying that every mom experiences trauma in the same way, but just for the sake of the show, Ashley Marin has been hospitalized because she is so sick over Hannah being
and Hannah is just
missing.
like crying. Hannah, she great. Honestly, great. The girls
from
all
everybody.
do really
Even,
strong
especially
acting.
Janelle Parrish. I thought.
Oh, I agree.
I watched Mean Girls the musical last night. I've never watched it before. The girl who plays Gretchen and Janelle Parrish should play mother-daughter.
Oh, the original Gretchen?
No. Mean Girls the musical.
No, I know. The original Broadway cast, Gretchen.
Is that her?
I'm asking you.
No, I mean, maybe. Is that the actor?
No. I'm just asking if you watched the original Broadway cast.
No. The movie musical.
The with Renee Rapp.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I like have all these different Gretchens in my head right now.
They were just running. No, the one in the movie with Renee Rapp. There's something about the way their mouths move that
redhead?
constantly reminded me of Janelle Parrish.
Interesting.
And I thought Karen.
Well, the character is very Mona.
Karen was dumbed down way too much, but I do think that the actress, she made me laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the movie.
And thank God for Renee Rapp. But I did skip through every scene Katie was only in.
That's fine. I think it's fine, honestly. So, yeah. So anyway, she went to the hospital. Everyone's panicking because they think that like all their families are freaking out. Aria freaks out at the camera. I will kill you for what you've done to our families. Do you hear me?
Okay.
And they like pull her back, and I'm like, what is she gonna do? It's a camera.
What is she gonna do?
Like, what is she gonna do? She's not gonna hurt anybody. Oh my God.
But like it's definitely scary realizing that A is trying to make this place not just the dollhouse, but their doll home.
Wow, but their doll home. Spencer says, okay, let's help Hannah unpack. And then she whispers to Hannah, we're going to find Mona. We're going to get out. And we learn a new piece of Spencer lore
and
here
I'm like,
that
is it
frankly,
true?
I needed to. Oh, well, it's obviously true because she shows us it's true. She's always going to prove herself. Spencer won an Etch-a-Sketch contest in the 3rd grade, which now I'm kind of pissed. I've never won an Etch-a-Sketch contest. I don't know if I'm good at Etch-a-Sketch, but I could have been.
You could have been.
Now we'll never know.
Well, you could start now. Could be a nice hobby.
No.
For you to do during Housewives?
No, I have too many other hobbies.
For sure.
I am literally loaded up on hobbies.
She basically says Charles is a De Laurentiis on the Etch-a-Sketch.
Yes, she writes it out. And the girls are like, holy shit, you're good.
You are
the Etch-a-Sketch. No wonder you won.
We go to the well and Mona's singing, and then we go back to the car with the alley, and she gets to her destination, which is Tyler State Park.
On the edge of a freaking cliff, it seems.
It seems like it's where Mona almost died.
I thought the same thing.
And she...
Wait, could you believe... The car stops and we see it's on empty. It had exactly enough gas just to get to the spot. That I thought was I was like, but also that is a level of like insanity. I can't. That's wild.
That and then also like that was the fail safe because the original thing that happens is the car was programmed.
Because I kept thinking,
because you
just go another way, Allie.
Do you remember that one episode where someone was in a car and it stopped? I think it was Emily. They were or was it Emily and Paige? Maybe they were together and the car stopped working.
No, wasn't it? Emily, when she went to the barn and she was supposed to be going to Hannah's
and the
dad's
car
wedding.
Like, fully stopped.
Yeah.
It was similar to that, but plus the gas. It's like a truly,
it's just crazy.
And then this is even scarier: is that she goes to call roadside assistance,
which I'm also like,
it's just one of A's Goonies.
Isn't it hilarious that when Allie presses the button, this look of annoyance immediately comes over her face? She's like, I got a flat tire. Like she's immediately so annoyed as everybody is when they have to call roadside assistance.
The way she explains her issue, I'm like,
she's
Allie.
like, I'm stuck on the side of the road. Like, get here. Like she's like, I have a tracker in my shoe. Get here.
And
her phone has no service. Like she's fucked.
And we find out that we're actually on the phone. This was the person who invented the substance's first job. And they say, what you need is in the trunk. And then Allie's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
She's like, I said, open the trunk, Allison. And it's like, okay, yes, that is the voice from the substance.
And this is where Caleb and Ezra realize that, okay, Allie's at a dead stop. And that's a bad choice of words.
That's a poor choice of words. Ezra is the wordsmith, so he would be the authority on
if it's a good choice of words. He's got a master's degree in American literature.
Absolutely. So Caleb tells Ezra to slow down. We're getting close. We need to call Toby. Like, let's figure this out. So we do call Toby, and when we do, we see that LB is reading journal entries from Charles, and I'm just going to read an excerpt from one.
Okay.
Because this is insane. At first, I thought this was Allie's old journal, and I was like, holy shit. I couldn't believe
whose journal is it?
I think Charles, probably.
No, I think it's Allie's. I thought it was Allie's.
Okay. Did you read the whole thing?
No.
This is not Allie. I don't think. It's people like them. People like Aria with her aloof doe eyes. Did I write this? And Spencer, that smug, overachieving, know-nothing, know-it-all. And Hannah and Emily. That are the root cause of all that is bad in this world.
Okay, yeah.
They like Andrew. Games? Well, so do I. I fantasize about watching them scream, about watching what it takes to make them turn on each other. It's not that I hate them. I don't. They aren't evil. They just play everyone like they're game pieces, like pawns. I'm no pawn, and they can't play me.
Ooh.
If Allie had written that,
you're right.
I'd be like,
I think the handwriting threw me off.
Yeah, it is. It does look like girl handwriting.
And so Toby comes in. Toby comes in, and he says, "We got a lead on Andrew's car. The car was stolen 2 weeks ago and was just found right now on a toll road leading to." This is where Allison was now that he's describing, going towards the Tyler State Park.
So Ezra and Caleb find the car. The trunk is open. They go to the car. Allie's gone, and in the trunk are all of her clothes, as well as that welcome card that Hannah mentioned. And they open it. Would you like to read what all the girls wrote?
Emily says, "Love and miss you, XOXO Emily." Aria says, "Can't wait to catch up. Love, Aria." Hannah says, "Hasn't been the same without you. Dash, Hannah." Spencer says,
"Fuck you.
It'll be like old times. Dash, Spencer." The dashes I thought were interesting.
Yeah, I think that is interesting and makes sense. One thing I also think is interesting is if you're gonna have the girls just write fake messages, why don't you just do it?
Yeah, well,
and fake their handwriting.
Because I think there's part of A that does want this to be like I think there's a really sick part of A's brain that thinks that if he tries hard enough, he can make this seem authentic.
Oh my God.
Like he
that's
wants
so
he wants to be
crazy.
able to control a real group of the 5 friends.
Insane.
So we go to
They grab the clothes and start going. They're going to find her because Allie laid out the shoes.
The recording on the thing though says, "Get dressed, start walking, leave everything behind, or they die."
Yes. Sorry. So they follow where Allie's shoes were,
Which
she
is
laid
smart.
them out. Yeah. So Allie's in the yellow top, looking scared in the woods. We go back to the dollhouse. Hannah's looking at a pic of her mom. Spencer comes. It's time to go. So now we're going to keep getting like a back to the dollhouse, back to the woods.
Yeah. And so at the dollhouse, we go back to Allie. Now we're back at the dollhouse. There's an old note from Mona. We're talking about the old note from Mona. I can't remember exactly what the thing said, but the thing from the mirror, we realize is an anagram for Charles De Laurentiis.
Oh, yeah. So Spencer's basically explaining everything she's figured out.
And so the idea is that they're going to try to get to the vault somehow, which the girls will remind Spencer there's not enough time. But Spencer's goal is to be able to go through the game room to the vault, because what's inside of the vault, they're hoping they can bargain with A to get out.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Because it's all the stuff that matters most. And the toy that Spencer found with the CD engraved into it, she thinks that that's a signal like this stuff does matter to Charles.
Yes. She's like, this is his soul. So they go into the room and Spencer's looking for like a trap door or some kind of secret passageway, because when she was in this room and Charles like snuck in here, he got away really fast. So there has to be an exit. And the alarm goes off. The generator comes back on and an alarm goes off. So Charles knows they're out, but they're still trying to get whatever. They end up climbing through a vent. The alarm stops and they come out in like, honestly, it's like a movie theater type room with its projector and popcorn and all this baby stuff and pictures and whatever. And we have Charles just watching the girls watch these old family videos with Jess D and these 2 twin boys kissing their sister, who we can presume is Allison.
Precious.
They are so cute.
They're so cute.
So cute.
Spencer turns at the camera and she goes, "Game on, Charles."
She's like, I'm the only one who hasn't gotten to do this yet.
And then she does something that I didn't know could be done. And she holds the film still, and I guess that starts a fire.
I was like, where did the fire come from?
And I think it's because the projector is so hot that if it doesn't stay, if it's not constantly moving,
it'll catch on fire.
It starts to catch on fire, maybe?
Spencer, thank God for that big brain of yours.
Thank God for her. Sorry I didn't believe in you earlier. I still think that Mona said it, but
she sets it on fire and says, we want Mona back. And then Arya goes, let's torch this place. And I'm like, you guys are still in here and you have no way out.
It's giving Bad Cinderella. It's giving Andrew Lloyd Webber
let's torch this
introducing
place.
Bad Cinderella, and she goes, okay, guys.
I am Bad Cinderella.
She opens up her spray paint, and we think, wait, this is just the classic tale of Cinderella on a pink backdrop.
And she's like, bitch,
written in
you
handwriting
thought.
script. She opens her spray paint and she looks back at all the cameras and she goes,
gives a little wink.
And then she spray paints bad
in
right
red.
over it, and that's what Arya's doing essentially. And then so A is going back and forth at this point between the camera that's showing the girls and the fire, and Allie getting to where A needs Allie to be. And frankly, what I will say, I know that I don't need to sympathize with A, but the idea of someone's memories and home videos going up in flames actually made me sick to my stomach.
See, I did not have that feeling at all.
I just always think that, like, when people lose things that can be recovered, like that just...
Yeah, no, I mean, I do get that. But
So
not
then
for this person.
We go to Allie. She's in this clearing. She starts to hear something, and it's actually just Caleb and Ezra. I thought it was going to be A.
Thank God.
Go back to the dollhouse. We realize the fire, it's burning too fast.
Here's the thing. I just feel like they didn't think this through.
At all.
Like, because what are you going to do now?
And Spencer didn't tell the girls that she was going to start
And
a
they're
fire.
like, Spence, what's next? What's next? And Spencer's like, I don't know.
I did my part.
Help me find a way out, I guess.
And so Emily's like, okay, I'm going to pull down these. And this would have made me fall face first into a fire.
No, you would have not survived this moment.
Emily pulls down the curtain hoping that it can be like a fire blanket. And when she pulls it down, there's plexiglass and a fucking like leather mask is behind it.
It's like the Jason mask. It's
black.
like a hot. Yeah,
it's like if Elon Musk dressed as Jason.
Yes.
This is what Elon Musk would wear.
It's Jason/A.
Yes.
Quite spooky. And I just again, it's so hilarious that now we're trying this hard to put the fire out. It's like you just started it. And Emily's like, "Oh, I need something to put this fire out. You guys, we're gonna burn. We're gonna be burned alive." And it's like, yeah, you should have thought of that.
So we're at Allie and the boys, and they're like, "Oh, we were sent on a wild goose chase. We gotta go." And then, of course, we pan out and we see they're standing right over the fire.
It is literally right under their noses, and they start to leave, and all this smoke is coming up, and it's like, "You guys come back." So whatever. Emily tells them, "All right, guys, let's throw everything in the fire." And Arya says, "Say goodbye to your soul." Arya's just killing it with the one-liners in this episode. So finally, A's like, "Okay, enough." Pulls the fire alarm, and the sprinklers go off.
The way A pulls this fire alarm, he like basically just like shimmies out of his little like holding room.
He's just like, "Oh,
he like
yay."
he like flicks the fire alarm and he like does a jaw square out of there.
Yeah, he's just
like so nonchalant about what's going on.
He's like, "Okay, start of act 2. Let's do this. Let's do it."
Perfect. That means the police are close.
Perfect. Things are heating up, literally.
So
thank God the boys have ears.
They
and
start to
Allie
hear
has
it.
ears, and they hear the fire alarm going, and they start
thank God we
running
have a
towards
30-year-old on board.
Well, exactly. They start running after the sound, and then that's when they see that there's also smoke, and it's coming from underground. They follow that, and Ezra says, "Ha-ha!
A door!
A door!"
A door!
And we run over to the store.
And so then we go back to the dollhouse, and the girls were looking for Mona. They find Mona in the well, and
This is when Mona just kills at acting.
But I'm also like, Mona, I know you are hungry and thirsty. Can we be a little fucking louder? At first she's like, "Hello."
She goes, "Help me,
guys."
Well, I'm gonna do you one better.
Okay.
Because I was gonna be a little bit more insensitive with this and say, "Mona, you didn't even try scaling the wall." Like, I never climbed a tree, but I bet I could have climbed out of there.
It is like perfect rock climbing.
No, it literally, I thought the same. It looks like there's a lot to grip on here. And I know you don't have nails on right now. You don't have acrylics on right now, Mona. You're good.
So, but they find
the
her.
acting is so,
they
she
get her.
just like, when she sees the girls, the way she starts sobbing, which it's like normally you kind of expect the opposite reaction because it's like, "Oh my God, yay, yay, yay," whatever. But she starts sobbing, and it's like such a great choice. It's so great.
They find her, they get her, they're running out. Allie and the boys.
Which, by the way, they got her pretty quick.
They did.
They threw a rope down there, and I'm like, this is gonna take a while, and it doesn't.
What we didn't
not even 10 seconds.
What we failed to realize is that Mona is very similar to Addie Brown and us.
Addie Brown.
Addie Brown is known to climb a rope. I've seen her on her story.
Oh, on CrossFit.
I've seen it on her story.
Oh, she's gonna be thrilled you brought up her CrossFit on the podcast. Yeah, that's right. We brought her up 2 episodes in a row, and now we talked about her comedy show and her CrossFit.
Oh,
so let me guess,
right.
you all want to be her best friend now?
Probably.
Well, she's taken.
Allie's awesome. Addie's awesome.
Oh my God, I hope she's not listening, because if so, you are so dead.
I'm so
You
dead.
are so dead, mate.
They find the doors, and like Ezra, Caleb, and Allie are pulling the door open, and they're failing. And the girls like basically like you know that thing that cops hold that like open doors?
Like a tree trunk
What the
and
fuck
Beauty
are
and the
those
Beast.
things called? They're like these big pillar things.
Well, I can just think of something better, which is Beauty and the Beast. When
Sure.
they're all like, "Kill the beast."
That's exactly what happens.
They have crazy old Maurice, and they all are running to the castle, and they got big tree trunks, and they go, "Heave ho!
Yes.
Heave ho!"
That's what
and
the
the
girls are
palace
doing.
doors, and the palace doors open. Aha! All the enchanted objects are here to make your life a living hell.
That's when the girls
Hell, monsters. Put your torches and pitchforks down. My name is Olivia.
That's what the girls do.
And the girl, and it's like, "Arya, okay, you're not a Lumiere. Sorry. You wish."
And the police are there, and she's getting cast as Chip. Let's
We're
be
like,
real.
"Where's Crazy Old Maurice? Where is Crazy Old Maurice?" Ezra.
Sarah Harvey?
Sarah Harvey is giving Crazy Old Maurice.
And so the police are there.
I'm sorry, Crazy Old Maurice is such a good name.
Ezra.
Okay, my
Arya.
next 3 dogs are named Quinn Fabray, Crazy Old Maurice.
What was the last one?
Fuck, what was the last
Oh
one?
my God, it was so
Wait,
good.
it was like a guy name. It was a
was
boy.
so good.
Fuck, what was it? I just
Oh
want to
my
say
God,
Dr. Faustus, but that's
it
definitely
wasn't.
not
It
it.
was so good, Dr. Fauci.
It was not either.
Okay, your fourth dog.
Okay, I'm sorry, Quinn Fabray, Crazy Old Maurice.
What the fuck was it?
Imagine if Drama was named Crazy Old Maurice when he brought the chipmunk in.
We'll
That would have
have
been
to-
perfect.
We'll have to ask Anthony. Anyway, Arya runs into Ezra's arms. Hannah runs into Caleb's arms. Emily runs into Allie's arms. Mona and Spencer are just hugging.
I was like, okay, and the world is healing. I've never seen these 2 touch skin.
And then Hannah is hugging Caleb and says, "Never let me go." And
Aw.
Caleb is like sobbing, and he's like, "I've never."
And it's like, and
like,
yet
and
I
I
know
know.
what's coming.
And I know it's coming. You
And yet I know what's coming,
asshole.
you pieces of shit. All of you.
Not Hannah.
I'm not talking about Hannah. I'm just talking about like everyone.
And Toby goes, Spence,
babe.
It's Andrew Campbell,
Hey,
babe.
you babe. He's like, it's smart Andrew, babe. It's so funny the way he calls her babe. I'm like, right now you're gonna call her babe for real in this moment? It's not appropriate time to call her babe.
And so
Call her by her government name.
this is when we realized we found another girl, and her name is Sarah. It's Sara Harvey.
It's literally, they're like, there's another girl down there and our core four. They're like, huh?
Oh,
They're like, okay.
And
They're like, Jesus Christ, you move on fast. My God, this is our moment.
And Emily's like, that's Sara Harvey. We met her friends a while ago. She went missing the same weekend that Allie did.
I thought she low-key looks like Cece.
She's blonde.
In this moment. Okay, well, that's not it.
She's being carried out on a stretcher, by the
on
way,
a stretcher,
guys.
and the girls don't give her a second look.
And
which
Emily
is hilarious.
goes up to Allie and is like, thank you for all that you did. And by the way, have you ever heard of Charles DeLaurentis? And Allie's like, no, bitch.
Allie actually says nothing at all, but she makes a face that I thought said a million words, but you
Which
think it just said no bitch.
bitch.
And no bitch is famously a million words.
Oh, yes.
It's a million words. Okay, guys, so that was our season 6 opener. Lame.
It was
boring.
so boring.
Are you guys bored out of your skulls, out of your freaking gourds?
Next-
Phoebe, will you please read the synopsis?
I will.
The
Next week is season 6. Why isn't Sid's full name Sidnopsis?
Because it's Sid Vicious, which is kind of iconic.
So it's Pretty Little Liars, season 6, episodes 2, Songs of Innocence. The girls struggle with the
Is this
lasting...
the musical episode?
Yes. The girls struggle with the lasting after effects of their time spent in the dollhouse. Allison is plagued by her past indiscretions.
So, Allie, you shouldn't be plagued by anything right now because you didn't have to go in there.
You're good, girl.
You were not in that dollhouse. She is suffering from me, like Aria. Okay, I guess it's contagious.
Aria finally has a reason to be
They're not separated
me.
anymore, and now Allie has it.
Yeah.
Great. She's kind of had it the whole time. All right, guys. Well, that is that. That is that episode. It's crazy to think. I'm actually like, I can't believe we're in season 6.
It's really sweet that we've gotten so far and that we actually did it.
We used to be like, I mean, if we ever get through it, and like now we're like fully aware of what's next, which is crazy, but hard to believe we're in season 6. This has been so fun. It's cool to see like how much our style has kind of changed over time in terms of like how we recap it and how we talk about it, and like the lore we've built into Rosewood that's our own is like really neat.
It's in depth,
and it makes me excited for Gossip Girl too, because I'm just like, think of how much
what can we do with that world?
What are we gonna do? What can we make here?
And by the way, Mimi and I are going to the Big Apple, hopefully, to see your favorite actor, Paul Mescal, in a streetcar named Desire.
When?
He's reprising his role.
When?
In 2025.
When?
I don't know yet.
There are 12 whole months there.
I don't know yet. At some point.
Okay, well, Phoebe talked about this as if it was in the bag. Tickets are bought and we have a hotel. All right, and that is the end of our episode. Please, please, please leave us a review. I'm begging, okay? Please, can you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts? We're both begging, right?
Well, always.
We're begging. Come on, leave us a review. 5 stars. 5-star review. And please tell everyone you know about us. If you love this episode, share it with a friend. Share it on your Instagram story if you're a real one. And make sure you're following us on Instagram at The Pretty Little Podcast. The O in podcast is a 0. And follow us on TikTok at The Pretty Little Podcast. And tomorrow, you're going to get a Patreon episode, a deep dive on the Grammys. So if you notice that you didn't get all of our Grammy thoughts on Tuesday, have no fear.
We didn't even talk about the Grammys,
We didn't even touch on it because we have so much to say. If we had even like started, it would have been a landslide.
And it'll only be $3.
It'll only be $3. It's available for all tiers on Patreon. And if you're like, yeah, but I'm not going to remember to cancel and I don't want to join fully,
you can buy it for $5.
You can buy it. You can buy the episode and just have it forever, and you don't have to join. So like and did you know you can buy any of our episodes on Patreon?
Some of them are more expensive than others.
There's one in particular I'm thinking of that we got under lock and key. You know who you are episode. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We love you so much, and we will see you next week. And what the fuck? If I did that, you would have my head.
Well, because you didn't purchase.
Oh my God.